Wednesday's Mirror, who are unsurprisingly keen to see the poshos get a well-deserved bagging and no tuck.
Yeah, so economists debunk Tory claim that axing private school tax breaks would lead to exodus. So previously there have been warnings that Labour want to stop the tax breaks on private schools. I love it they say it's a tax break. Oh, we don't steal so much of your money, and that's a break. Oh, we're giving you a real break. No, it's like, you know, they don't tax private schools as much or at all.
There's no VAT. They have charitable status, and I think they get some quite substantial, if you regard them as commercial organisations, then that by those standards they get some fairly good business rates on their premises.
But it makes sense because they relieve the burden on the state.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
and the people who send their kids to private school pay their tax, and pay an awful lot of tax in most cases because they tend to be rich, and so they're subsidising everybody else's kids getting taught, and they're paying for a place for their own kid.
And then they're being penalised when those kids go to university because they go, oh, you're privately educated, you need 5 triple-star A's to get in, you know.
Absolutely. Basically ending that tax break the Labour Party have said it would raise like £1.5 billion.
And this think tank agrees.
This think tank agrees. They say, not very many people would pull their kids out of school if it became more expensive because of the tax breaks ending. But actually, a survey by the Independent Schools Council revealed that 60% would probably or definitely remove their kids from private school.
Or at least one of the three. You'd probably weigh up which one's not going to make it. You've got to think about it.
It's only back the right horse here. But that would actually end up costing the state £4 billion because, you know, then the state would have to pay to educate those kids.
And all that will happen is, because it's already happening on a vast scale, is those places will go to overseas kids, which, you know, maybe that's what they want to turn it in, the private education sector, into an export business, essentially. We already have an awful lot of kids, especially from East Asia, who are coming to British private independent public schools because they have a wonderful reputation worldwide. And it is becoming very much more, that's the kind of demographic that you see now. I don't know whether that's a good future or not.
Well, I mean, you're quoting a survey, they're quoting a survey. Basically, it's just we don't know how much this exodus would be and how much it would cost. But actually, you've got to go quite in there to use up all of this £1.5 billion that they'd raise. If your argument is purely about money, there's something worth looking into. There's another thing as well, which I think would happen. If you get these posh parents having their kids go to a state school with their sharp elbows and their ability to complain, you'd probably see an increase in the standards of teaching.
I think that's a very important part. I genuinely believe in that, and I think that's the one thing that's overlooked an awful lot of the time. The other thing that's overlooked is the obvious solution is to do a voucher system where every kid you get £5,000. You can either spend that and get them basically a free place at a state school, or you put it towards their private school fees, because it costs £5,000 a year to educate. It varies as they go through. That would make the obvious, wouldn't it? But, then it would even out.
With those 3 kids, the one that's not going to make it, no money to spend on that one.